I'm Keith Becker from DeDe's Rentals. I get phone calls almost on a daily basis from property owners who want to know about our services and how we can help them. The simple answer to that question, the value of our services for a property owner, is that we can and do create cash flow, limit liability, and simplify your life. That's not always, and actually it's not typically, the initial question that I am asked, however. The initial question that I am asked is, what does it cost? Now, whether you're talking to me, whether you're talking to DeDe's, whether you're talking to any other property management firm, it's a fair question. What is the cost of property management? Some of it are expenses or revenue that would be paid directly by you as the property owner. Some are a cash income to the property management firm that comes from an alternate source, vendors, ancillary services, and there are revenue streams, if you will, that might, for example, come from the tenants who are residing at the individual properties. The fact is that there are enough different sources that this isn't something that we want to talk about all of the different topics and possibilities in one single conversation. So right now, let's just talk about the two big dogs. What's your management fee? How much does it cost to find me a tenant? Management fees can be calculated in basically one of two ways. Management fees, there are some property management firms that calculate management fees as a flat rate. Let's say it's $300 per month, whether the property rents for $900 or whether the property rents for $2,900. It would be the same amount consistently. Alternately, other companies will charge it as a percentage of the rent received, meaning that if the commission is 10% and you've got a $900 property, it's a $90 commission. You've got a $2,900 property, it's $290. Now, there are also property management firms that will presume that there is always going to be a minimum charge or a flat amount, whether the property is occupied or not, whether the tenant has paid rent or not. And the rationale behind that is even a vacant property requires maintenance, requires administration, therefore there's a cost and an overhead associated with that. If the tenant isn't paying rent, there's more effort involved and it should be compensated. So you want to ask whomever it is that you're interviewing, how is the property management fee structured and are there minimums? The other one, tenant placement. Many property management firms offer tenant placement in conjunction with property management. Some offer tenant placement as a standalone service. Those that offer it in conjunction, there are some that actually will build it into their management commission. And let's say that the commission is 12% of the rent received each month, and that includes placement. Whether you find yourself having to place tenants 4 times in 1 year or 1 time per decade, still it's built in and you, the owner, do not pay an ancillary additional charge. Otherwise, there are those who charge per transaction. And if you find yourself having to replace a tenant every 3 years, there's a once per transaction charge for the cost. And again, sometimes they are a flat charge, $500 per transaction, whether the property rents for $1,000 or whether it rents for $3,000, or alternately as a percentage of the nominal rent of the property. 50% of the rent will be the tenant placement commission. So a $3,000 property would have a $1,500 tenant placement commission. Advertising and marketing is typically separate from the placement commission itself. And so you want to ask, what is the cost? How is it calculated? And what's the effectiveness? Where are your marketing dollars going? And what is the result for you in terms of being able to generate fast response, good quality tenants, and the lowest downtime in terms of having a property vacant? As I said, those are the two big dogs. There are other issues, ancillary income, and also money that might be coming in, for example, from tenants. We'll talk about those in other topics, in other conversations. Property management can be complicated. We're here to help you simplify it. Call me if I can be of help. I'm Keith Becker from DeDe's Rentals.